Welcome back! Many of you keep asking me when you see my desktops in videos how I have customized them. So today I'm going to show you how I customized my desktops in a slightly different format. And now let's get it started! To continue, I give you my key points. I use two Linux desktops, Gnome and Cinnamon. These two have proven to me to be the best solution for my needs. So I work with them the most, and therefore I use these two as the basis for this demo. The distros that come into play here are Linux Mint with Cinnamon and Fedora with Gnome. I'm deliberately using Fedora because it provides vanilla GNOME, which is not entirely practical in my eyes. I know from the comments that some of you have a different view on this, but that's fine. I'll adjust it. An Ubuntu system could have been used, but Ubuntu already comes with some customizations for productivity, so I don't see much room for improvements on the GNOME desktop with Ubuntu. It's already very well customized, so I'll only go into Ubuntu briefly if necessary and focus here on Fedora. If you install Linux Mint or LMDE, the desktop conceptually looks most like Windows 10. The bar is at the bottom, there is a start menu on the left, followed by pinned apps. On the right side are controls and system indicators. That's nothing new. This is probably familiar to most of us. I like to adapt the whole thing to Windows 11. I know that many of our Linux friends grumble about Windows, but that doesn't mean that it can't influence you in one direction or another. After all, most of you will have a Windows past, so let's stand by it and make our peace with it. So let's get started. We don't need any major additional things at first. We added the bar and moved the group of the windows to the center area and the menu afterwards. So how can we do that? Make a right click and then hit Panel Edit Mode. And now you see here some kind of red background, and here you see some kind of green background. Now make a left click and hold the button, and then move the group into the area of the green field and then release the button. Same procedure for the Linux Mint menu. A left click, hold the button, and then on the side here, release the mouse, and then it's there. Make a right click on the panel and then deactivate the edit mode. And now we have the menu and the pinned apps centered. Now you can go on and customize it a little bit. Let's say we add Spotify to the panel, or what else? Let's say Office. Let's add the writer. And now if you want to move an icon, just make a left click, hold it, place it, and then release the button again. It's moved. That's all. How easy is that? And just one last note, it doesn't matter if you use LMDE or the regular Linux Mint edition. The steps are absolutely identical. So have fun! It's no secret that I also use macOS alongside Linux. This coexistence has been going on since 2008, so we are a well-rehearsed team. So it should come as no surprise that I move the window icons from right to left. This gives me a standardized concept under Linux and as well as macOS. We need the GNOME tweak tool. We can install it as follows. On Fedora in terminal, sudo dnf install gnome-tweaks. On Debian or Ubuntu, sudo apt install gnome-tweaks. You can also do it via GNOME Software Center. Just open it, go on the search field, and then enter GNOME tweak. If you don't have done yet, then click on install and then open it. We also need either the extension app or the extension manager. Just search for extension The blue is a third-party app and the green is from the GNOME project. The blue one has an advantage. That means it has a search function that is in the app itself. The green one from the GNOME project doesn't offer a search function. That means we have to open the browser, browse to extensions.gnome.org, have to search the extensions and then install them manually. With the extension manager, you have all in one app. This is why I prefer the extension manager. So I click on it and click open. So we have to install the following extensions. Just click on the right tab Browse and then Arc menu, install it, and if it's installed, you see it's placing right here. Install and you got it? That's it. Next is Blur My Shell. And after I hit install, you should move your eyes here to the top panel. Now it has some transparency. The third one is dash to dock. If I click install and confirm it, then a dock will pops up at the bottom. Optionally, you can also use Bing wallpapers. That's just an optional recommendation. So in summary, Arc menu offers me a start menu, which I always find at the top left. Blur My Shell makes the top bar transparent. Dash to dock offers the GNOME Dash as a dock at the bottom. And the Bing wallpapers changes the wallpaper image daily with its own images. With Ubuntu, we don't need to install Dash to Dock because Ubuntu has forked this extension and uses it as Ubuntu Dock. If you need even more, you can visit gnome-look.org and download, for example, icon sets. Additionally, I definitely recommend downloading the theme ADW-GTK3 and after installation activate it in GNOME Tweaks. This will make legacy GNOME 3 based applications look like GTK4 apps in libadvisor design guideline. I will put the link in the description of the video. So just go down. Then we go to the releases section and we download the newest one. Now let's go to the file browser, extract it, and then we have to open a second file browser, a new window, go here into Preferences, Show Hidden Files, make a right click in the free space, and then New Folder, name it .themes. The dot at the beginning is very important that it is a hidden folder, otherwise it won't work. So we created this folder, double click on it, and we make a double click here. We extracted these two folders, copy it, and paste it in the folder Themes in the home directory. And now we will open the Tweak tool. I will add it to the dash because we will use it more than one time. Go to Appearance, and then here at Legacy Applications, click on it, and then you see they are here. And now, take a look. The file browser, Nautilus, looks different than the GNOME Tweak tool. The GNOME Tweak tool follows the old GTK3 design guideline, and all the other apps here, the libadvisor GTK4 design guidelines. To harmonize that, it is important to activate the ADW GTK3 theme. Now click on the drop-down menu and just select it. And now you see, boom, it's changed. But we are not yet finished. Go on Windows and then title bar buttons. I activate maximize, minimize, and then move all on the left side. So now we have some of the core functions, but we are not yet done. Now we make some customizing at the extension level. We go to the extension manager and on the right here installed. And first we go to dash to dock. Go on here, the preferences, and then I deactivate the intelligence auto hide. I don't like it. If I maximize a window, my dock should stay at the bottom. So I deactivate this. Then I will shrink it a little bit. Go to appearance and then shrink the dash, activate this function. The next is customize Windows counter indicators. This is default. Customize the dash color. This is what I recommend in general. Then I choose black. And now we will modify the transparency. We will make a fixed value. And then, well, let's reduce it to up to 33. Or let's say round about 50%. If you don't like this 9 dots here, show apps, you can deactivate it here, or you can move it to the left side on the dock. It's up to you how to decide. And if you want, you can move the dock maybe to the left side or to the right side. I don't like this. I will keep it on the bottom. So we're done with the dock. Blur My Shell is an extension that just makes my panel at the top transparent. I will do no more customizations at this level. You can do some, but I don't recommend it because it is already performing what it should do. So from my end, it's fine. Here you can customize brightness, color, and stuff like that. So let's go to Art menu. And I made some experiences that it is not as stable as it should be. So maybe it will crash several times. So don't be confused if it will happen. So first go to menu button, then add menu button icon, choose browse. Then in the writer distro icons, I choose Fedora, as this is a Fedora system. So close. Then I can adapt the size. Well, I think that's good. Now, menu theme. This is some kind of workaround I found. If you click first on menu theme, and then back and then to menu layout, it will work. If you skip the first step, it will crash immediately. Don't know why. So here I choose modern desktop layout or modern menu layout, and then I choose 11. And then we have some kind of Windows 11 inspired menu. We will go through the available categories, and you can imagine what will happen if you choose Arc menu, Brisk, Whisker, Budgie, Mint, and so on. Here we have Unity, Plasma, also one that's called Pop from macOS, Touch menu, Launcher menu layout, Alternative. Well, just test it and choose what you prefer. I will stay with 11. You have also the chance to theme the menu. Go here, override theme must be activated, and then you have some current themes here. I will now switch, well, let's say dark blue. And you see how the change happened. You can also customize it for you. Let's assume we have an Ubuntu system and want to modify it to orange. Then I will say foreground color here orange, hover foreground also orange, active foreground color orange, and let's say the border color, let's move to this orange. And now let's see how this affects. Oh, sorry. Foreground color should not be orange in my opinion. Let's move it to some kind of white. Yeah, it looks better in my eyes. So I will keep this for now. And what do we have now? We have a layout inspired from macOS, but it's not a clone of macOS. And this is important to me. I don't want a clone. I want something inspired. I want some consistent layout, and this I have here with these extensions. I like this very much. We will now go on and customize GNOME like Windows 10 or Windows 11. Those who come from Windows or from the Windows world and would like to stick with this concept after switching to Linux are also offered a solution here. We need the GNOME Tweak tool. You can install it as follows. On Fedora, in the terminal, sudo dnf install gnome-tweaks. On Debian or Ubuntu, sudo apt install gnome-tweaks. But you can also install it in the Software Center. Just search for tweaks. And then click install and afterwards open. We need either the extension app or extension manager. I prefer the extension manager. It's a third-party app, but it has a benefit. It offers you a search function. If you use the extension app from the GNOME project, then installing extensions is one more step. You have to open a browser, browse to extensions.gnome.org, search for your extension and install it manually. With the extension manager, you have an in-app search function that you can use and don't need to go the step over the browser. So I personally use this app on all my machines. To make GNOME look like Windows, we only need two extensions. One is Arc Menu, I already installed in the previous section. The second one is Dash to Panel. And now, if I click on Install and confirm it, you will see the panel at the top is moving to the bottom as some kind of taskbar. Ready? Then let's click Install. And boom, it's gone. Now we are some kind of near at Windows 10, but we are not yet finished. Now we go to the installed writer and activate Arc Menu. And first we will customize Arc Menu. Click here on the Preferences. Then, as I already shown in the macOS section, I will change the menu button icon. I will use a distro icon. Here I did choose Fedora. And for a Windows inspired layout, I will move the size to, let's say, 38. Like I said, you can also change the menu theme. You can add a customized theme, or you can choose one of the pre-installed themes. I will go to the Arc theme style now. And you see it's more blue. Now let's go back, go to menu layout. And here under modern menu layouts, I did choose 11. You have also the possibility to choose another one. Let's say traditional menu layouts, Arc Menu, Brisk, Whisker, GNOME, Mint, Budgie. Let's check modern layouts, Unity, Plasma, Windows, Redmond, Insider, don't know what this is, Enterprise, Pop, inspired from Pop OS. Go to touch menu layouts, Elementary, Chromebook, Runner, GNOME Overview, and Raven. I will now stay on 11. Okay, next one is to customize the Dash to Panel extension. Click here on Preferences. Now you can modify the size. I would say around about 48. Go to Style. And now you can modify the app icon margin. I will say 4 is good. The app icon padding I will stay at 4. You have here on Panel Style the possibility to set a custom color. I will choose black. And I also activate Override Panel Theme Background Opacity to choose some kind of transparency. I would say around about 60 or 65 or let's say 70. And yeah, it looks not that bad. So what else? Under Position, go down, scroll down. Here we have something to fix. We have here Show Apps, and we have here our Arc menu. If we will follow some Windows 10 inspired layout, then this Show Apps here must move away. This we can do here at Show Application button. It's visible, and we will now deactivate it, and you can see, boom, it's gone. And if you want to have the date at the end of the bar, like it is given on Windows, then just move it at the end. But I would say not the complete end, here at the end. Yeah, very well. So we are done. Our layout is now Windows 10 inspired. But we can also go further. We can also move this in a layout like Windows 11. And how you can do it? It's very easy, I promise. All we have to do is to go here, left box, and then choose Centered, taskbar, choose Centered, center box, choose Centered, and that's all. Here we go. How easy is that? But honestly, there is one last detail we have to take care of. If you go in the Tweaks tool and then on Appearance, then I have to go back to Advaita Default to show you the differences between the GTK 3 design guideline, which is now shown in the GNOME Tweak tool, and the GTK 4 libadwaita design guideline. I think if we put them together, you see the differences. All legacy apps based on GTK 3 are not in the new design. You can fix this with the ADW GTK 3 theme. You can download it on GitHub. I will paste the link in the description, not to worry. Download the latest available release, download the archive. Afterwards, go to your browser, go to your file browser, then make a right click, click on Extract, and then it will be extracted to this folder. The next step is open a second file browser window, go on the Preferences and check that Show Hidden Files is activated. It must be marked. Now go on your home directory. This means go on Home, make a right click in the background and then New Folder. And name this new folder .themes. It is very important that you use .themes to create a hidden folder. Otherwise it will fail. I can't do it now because I already did it in the macOS section. That's the reason behind. So I will cancel it now and you will hit Create. After you created this folder, click in the folder, go back in your first window, click on the extracted folder, mark the to folder within, copy it, and then paste it here in the themes folder of your home directory. Afterwards, you have to quit the Tweak tool and reopen it. Then go to Appearance and then on Legacy Apps, choose ADW GTK 3. And now as you can see, it moved. And I see there's one last issue we have to fix. Go on Windows and then Placement on title bar buttons, click on Right. Here we go. And we are now very near on a Windows 11 or Windows 10 inspired layout. It's not a clone. I did not use Windows icons or a window theme. I just want an inspired layout, no more, no less. Of course, this is all just cosmetic. In other words, we don't turn Linux into macOS just because we recreate the design elements of macOS. The same applies to Windows. We're just recreating that. Some people find it more familiar, others find it uninspired if you stick to the previous OS and don't create anything new. I see this dispassionately. Linux is not a mass-produced product, it's usually customized, and that's exactly how I understand this video. I demonstrate possibilities. I'm not making a recommendation to use this or the other. That's not my job. What you make of it is up to you. I model the concepts up to a certain point, but deliberately don't adapt them completely. So I don't use Windows symbol sets or macOS symbol sets, for example. There are others that I also like and I like to use under Linux. The customizability of Linux is extremely high. As individual as the Linux distributions are, you can also customize the system to suit your needs. Whether you stick to Windows or macOS concepts or build something completely new is entirely up to you. I appreciate how Ubuntu customizes a desktop. I usually change very little on an Ubuntu system. Only the window icons are moved to the left, that's it, and maybe a different wallpaper. The rest is pretty much off the shelf as Ubuntu delivers it. That's enough for me because the Ubuntu desktop team and the design team do a flawless job. You can work very well with it, it looks highly polished, and I love that. With Linux Mint, I appreciate the consistency of Cinnamon and also that the developers put a lot of emphasis on the opinions of the users. This means that if users don't like it, the Linux Mint project makes improvements and doesn't stubbornly insist on its own preferences. I appreciate that too. Cinnamon is nice to look at and I also work with the standard elements here, but I like to customize it to the Windows 11 inspired layout. I no longer warm up to KDE. I'm sorry. I used KDE from 2003 to around 2008. From Ubuntu 8.04 it was GNOME for me. Of course KDE Plasma is at the forefront today, but not to my taste. So everyone can find the right one for them. And I can say that without anyone feeling offended because they use different desktops. That's all good. It's interesting to see what's new in KDE 6 when it comes out. The release of Cosmic Desktop, which is expected during the summer of 2024, will also be exciting. Of course, there are many others like Mate or XFCE, but they simply have different target group. Now I'm interested in what you are using and why. Are you team customizing or are you team off-the-shelf software? Feel free to write your opinion in the comments. Did you like the video? If you want more, you already know what to do, right? Just press the subscribe button for free and also activate the bell. Then you're up to the challenge. If you want to support the project, you can also become a YouTube member. This also helps me and the channel, and as a bonus you get early access to the videos, namely immediately after upload. Also feel free to check out my presence on X and also follow me there too. Thanks! Well, that's all for today's video. Thank you for the kind attention, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Good day! Peace!